December 7th, 1941. A date that would be etched into the memory of a nation and into the hearts of all who lived through it. It began as a peaceful Hawaiian morning, the sun rising over Pearl Harbor, sailors waking to another day in paradise, unaware of the storm about to break. Suddenly, the calm was shattered. Japanese planes descended from the sky, engines roaring like thunder, bombs and torpedoes tearing through the anchored fleet with merciless precision. The USS Arizona erupted in a fireball, flames and smoke billowing skyward as the ship was torn apart in seconds. Nearby, the Oklahoma capsized, rolling over and trapping hundreds of sailors inside its steel hull, their fates sealed in an instant. Thick, black smoke blotted out the sun, turning day to night, the air filled with the deafening sounds of explosions, alarms, and desperate shouts. The harbor became chaos, fire, twisted metal, and desperate cries echoing across the water. In every direction, destruction reigned. In an instant, the world changed. What had been ordinary moments were now replaced by terror and disbelief. Men who'd been laughing and joking just moments before now fought for their lives, dodging debris and fire, helping wounded comrades amid the chaos. Decks became battlegrounds, the water a burning grave. The very place they called home was now a scene of devastation. The attack was meant to break them, to cripple a nation's spirit and leave only fear in its wake. But as bombs fell and the world seemed to collapse, something else emerged: courage, raw and unyielding. Young men, barely adults, found strength they never knew they had. In the face of terror, they stood together. They reached for shipmates in the water, answered cries for help, and formed human chains to pull the injured to safety. Again and again, they risked everything for one another, refusing to abandon their friends even as danger closed in. In the heart of destruction, the first sparks of heroism flickered through the smoke, lighting the darkness with hope. Even as the world collapsed, the best of humanity began to rise. Acts of kindness and bravery shone through the chaos. The ordinary was gone, replaced by a brutal new reality. The harbor was forever changed, and so were the people who survived. But in that crucible, brotherhood and bravery were born. Bonds forged in fire would last a lifetime. The day the sky fell, the spirit of Pearl Harbor began to shine, a beacon of resilience in the darkest hour. This was the beginning of a story not just of loss, but of resilience, unity, and the unbreakable will to endure. The harbor was a nightmare, oil burning on water, flames licking the surface, creating a hellish scene that seemed almost unreal. Men leaping from flames into a deadly sea, their only hope to escape the inferno above. Survival seemed impossible, but hope arrived in small boats, cutting through the chaos like beacons of salvation.
We could have run, but we launched our boats into the fire, driven by a sense of duty and brotherhood, steering through debris and bullets, navigating a gauntlet of dangers to reach those in need.
We pulled men from the water, ignoring the danger, just focused on saving lives. Each rescue felt like a small miracle.
Each rescue was a victory, hands reaching for hands, strangers becoming brothers in the face of adversity. A sailor from the West Virginia, a symbol of resilience and bravery, a young ensign clinging to wreckage. Each was saved by someone who risked everything, embodying the spirit of sacrifice. These weren't grand maneuvers, but acts of pure courage, repeated again and again, each one a testament to human resilience. Ranks and roles vanished. All that mattered was helping the next man. Boats filled with wounded, rescuers exhausted, yet undeterred. But they turned back for more, driven by an unyielding sense of duty and compassion. In the chaos, these small acts of heroism became a lifeline, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. Even as the world burned, the bond between people held strong, a testament to the enduring power of human connection. The harbor was a sea of destruction, but also of compassion, where humanity shone brightest in the darkest hours. Men risked their lives not for glory, but for each other, driven by a bond stronger than fear. In the darkest water, humanity's light endured, a beacon of hope and resilience. This was heroism at its purest, men helping men no matter the cost, a testament to the unbreakable human spirit. As wounded men reached shore, a new battle began, one for survival. The chaos of war didn't end at the water's edge. It followed every injured soul onto the sand, where the fight to save lives was just as fierce as any clash at sea.
We ran toward the explosions, not away, setting up aid stations wherever we could. Sometimes it was behind a crumbling wall, other times in the open, exposed to danger. There was no time to hesitate. Every second counted for the wounded.
Medics worked under fire, bandaging wounds, applying tourniquets, fighting to save lives as bombs fell. The roar of explosions was constant, but their focus never wavered, hands steady even as the ground shook beneath them.
Sometimes we shielded the wounded with our own bodies, then went right back to work. There was no room for fear, only the drive to protect and heal, no matter the risk to ourselves.
Sailors with no training became stretcher bearers, following orders, holding pressure, doing whatever was needed. In those moments, rank and experience faded away. What mattered was saving lives. The line between roles blurred. Everyone became part of the effort to heal. Nurses, sailors, and medics worked side by side, united by a single purpose. Amid chaos, these pockets of care and teamwork stood out. In the midst of destruction, small acts of bravery and compassion shone through. The medics' calm was a beacon of hope, their courage as vital as any weapon. Their steady hands and reassuring words brought comfort to the wounded and inspired those around them to keep going. Even under fire, the will to save life proved stronger than fear. In those desperate hours, the spirit of service and sacrifice defined every action, reminding us all of the true meaning of courage. Hospitals overflowed as wave after wave of wounded arrived.
Burns, shock, and pain filled every corridor.
Nurses became commanders of this new front, moving through chaos with calm resolve.
They worked without rest, triaging, treating, and comforting men in agony.
Supplies ran low, but their determination never did.
They made impossible choices, held hands, and offered hope.
For the wounded, a nurse's touch was a lifeline.
These women fought a different battle, against pain, despair, and death. In the overwhelmed wards, their courage and compassion became a light in the darkness. In the inferno, a powerful bond was forged, brotherhood born of shared danger.
Men became brothers not by rank, but by the instinct to protect.
On the Oklahoma, trapped sailors worked together, banging on steel to guide rescuers.
Rescuers cut through metal, refusing to give up.
Heroes like Chief Tomic stayed behind to save others, sacrificing themselves.
Across the harbor, countless acts of selflessness united the fleet.
The attack was meant to break them, but it fused them together. They became one crew, united in courage and determination. Heroism came at a steep cost.
Rescuers and medics risked everything, exposed to bullets and fire.
Nurses and doctors pushed themselves to the brink, haunted by what they saw.
The emotional toll was immense, but they gave all they had.
Some volunteered for the most dangerous tasks, diving into wreckage for survivors.
They chose to risk their lives for others, again and again.
Their sacrifice was not just physical, but deeply personal. The true measure of their heroism was their willingness to pay the price for compassion. Pearl Harbor was a day of destruction, but also of courage and hope. Amid the ruins, a light emerged, the spirit of those who chose to help. It shone from boats, aid stations, and hospital wards. Thousands of ordinary people became heroes, proving the human spirit endures. Their actions transformed tragedy into a testament of solidarity. They showed that even in defeat, compassion cannot be destroyed. This spirit became the foundation of America's resolve. The lesson of Pearl Harbor is not just vulnerability, but strength. Heroism lives in all of us, in every choice to help, to comfort, to care. Even in the darkest hour, the light of human goodness shines through.